Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. This is about my 6th, 7th attempt at this video, so I'm going to change tactics. There's been a whole lot of stuff in the news recently, in the last few days, about things going wrong and, we could have the money markets like they were in 2008. Somebody else had said, oh, we should be ready for war in Europe in the next 3 years. And, Scottish Water saying stop running the water. And when I look at it as a big overview, I'll be like, 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have been panic stricken. And if you look back at my earlier videos, you'll see, I prepped ridiculous amounts. I had so many preps. They were in the kitchen, they were in the bedroom, they were in the attic. I got more cupboards put in my kitchen for more preps. I went completely overboard because I believed the panic that was coming out in the media. However, that obviously has not come to pass. And I think that this is quite cyclical, that every so often we get a whole lot of reports saying, oh, this could happen, that could happen. You need to watch out for this, and oh, the world is ending. And, short of a bomb dropping on us, the world is not going to end anytime soon. It may get more difficult, and I definitely think that's a very good possibility, that our day-to-day life may get more difficult. And that, I think, is well worth preparing for, looking out for, being careful about. In the last couple of days, we had the Amazon World Service thing crashing. How glad are we had cash? I mean, we didn't have enough. We're going to go and get some more. But having that bit of cash gave us a bit of a cushion, a bit of a safety net. I've done so many videos about I'm ready if the power goes out. Someone had said about the water. Yes, I have canisters to put water in. I do need to get a water butt. I've been saying it for the past 2 years. However, circumstances and finances sort of kiboshed that for a wee while. But we are looking at, hopefully, the beginning of next year, getting that sorted. And I think that has made a huge difference to how settled I feel. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still panic over stupid things, as you do. But having things like, as I say, my stuff ready for if there's a power cut, my cadet boots for going out in the snow. Yes, they do need to get dug out before I go to the beach. They're at the bottom of the hall cupboard in the back corner because that's where they live and have done for years, and I take them out and then I put them back in the same place every time so I know where they are. But they get brought out every time there's snow. There's certain clothing, there's certain jackets, hats, gloves, etc. get brought out if the temperature drops to a certain level. Basically, once it hits minuses, all bets are off. Little things like that have given me a bit of a cushion where I'm not quite as panicked now by the media as I used to be. But I know that when I first read things like that, I'm like, oh, I need to go and check this, check that, check this, check that. But it's not going to be as immediate as some of the media reports would give us. I mean, as I say, yes, we're going to struggle. I don't think the cost of living crisis is going to go away. I think the fact that one of the headlines was the Bank of England is worried about it going to 2008 kind of crisis again, that's a distinct possibility from all the other stuff I've been reading. How's that going to affect us? Don't know. I just know that it caused problems in 2008. I don't particularly remember exactly what they were. But we've come through this most recent cost of living crisis, and it's certainly changed the way that I do things. It's changed the way that I spend. It's changed the way that I live for the better. Excuse me, because I try to be less reliant on mass produced stuff. I know it doesn't look like it if you see my shopping. However, compared to what it was a few years ago, I am less reliant. And I think that's a good thing. But it's definitely something to watch. I don't think it's something to completely ignore. I think if you're looking to get some stuff, now is probably a good time to get maybe a power pack, or to maybe stock up on some food so you've got a wee bit extra just in case, or to stash some cash just in case, because there's all the stories of the ransomware that's going on for so many companies that we don't realise. And I know that there was a new cyber security toolkit just came out from the government recently, because I was looking at it for work today. So that's obviously a big thing. So yeah, it's difficult to look at the headlines without thinking, oh my goodness, what we're going to do. But as you know, together we have seen this for years, on and off. And I'm not nearly as panicked as I used to be. I used to get really panicked, and I'm not now. And thank you all for that, because a lot of you have helped sort of go, really, Karen, behave. What are you thinking? So yeah, I think the headlines are definitely something to make us think. I don't think there's something to make us change everything we do at the moment. But there is stuff behind them, like the market's going up and down, the gold price is going up and down. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I think looking after ourselves is definitely somewhere to go with that. So yeah, make sure you've got some containers for water. Make sure your paperwork's up to date. If you've got stuff to do, get it done. Things like that. I just think it's time to keep a watchful eye. Rather than, as I say, rather than get all stressed and panicked, keep a watchful eye and just do a little bit at a time to give yourself that cushion. Because as I say, I know it made a huge difference to me over the last few years when things have been quite stressful. So yeah, that is me. Now I'm going to go for my usual cup of tea, and I will catch you later.